Hey traders, my morning brief video. Please like the video if you get a chance. Um, if you can, retweet me on Twitter, Gumby9662C, and I appreciate any uh, feedback you can give me on underneath my YouTube channel. Things you're seeing that I'm not seeing, or anything in general. Okay, so basically, we've came into the fair value gap here on the daily time frame for the dollar. So I'm kicking this off this morning. Looks like we have completed the cycle, suggesting some downside pressure might be forming here in the US dollar. Generally speaking, when the dollar's weak, that is more bullish for equities. So as a general broad stroke, so heads up on that. So we're continuing to hold a little bit of bid in these ZNs this morning, our 10-year treasuries, suggesting yields will be lower early on this morning. Um, We did miss the fair value gap to the downside on the daily time frame, so be mindful of that, suggesting there might be a little bit more downside before the end to the downside. So definitely keep that in the back of your mind here. Okay. So basically, we are in the bearish side of trend. So resistance should be shorted until we start getting over about oh, 112-ish, 112-ish, something like that. Until we start getting back above 112-ish, we should be looking to short the Xenians. Another measure of the markets here is the skew. So just a few days ago, we had a very high skew, a lot of hedging still in place in the skew. That's come down considerably the past few days here. So we're almost back to neutral on the skew. So not a lot of hedging going on in the markets. That's what skew's telling us here. So be quite mindful of that. Just not, even with a 3-day sell-off, our skew's coming down. So be very mindful of that. The hedges are coming off, it seems like. Our VIX still remains under 20, so not a whole lot of fear in the markets with our VIX. One major metric that I follow is the VIVIX. That's the volatility of the VIX, and above 110 is typically a heightened state of fear, and below 110 is complacency. So we're right at the 110 area. So it could go either way here, guys. But the volatility of it is suggesting there's still a lot of concern under the hood here. So be very mindful of that. So basically, SPY is still in a potential bear flag area. Uh, we are coming off of a higher low scenario into this resistance. So be very mindful of that. So uh, this is the second day of this. Uh, so we have to definitely keep that on watch. We've already back tested the September trend high. We could very well be doing that again today, September trend high. So we are, or better, you never know. Um, so some targets that I'm looking at here. You see how this is working out. This puts us back into last week's anchored view app. That would put us pretty much unchanged from week to week. So that is definitely a very this 583 area is probably a magnet. So definitely keep an eye on that in today's session. Qs are doing better this morning. We are going to be opening above resistance. Now this can be transferred over into new support. Okay, so that's going to be our new support early on this morning, unless something happens. It's 4:30 in the morning when I'm doing this video. Unless something happens before the market opens, that should be new support in today's session. So uh, this is a prior all-time high. So basically, we came down, we looked below that prior all-time high, and early on this morning, we're trying to find value above that all-time high in the pre-market session. So let's definitely keep an eye on this. Could be a topping area, because we know this is a prior all-time high, so this could very easily be a topping area. So let's definitely keep an eye. And we have already come back into last week's anchored view app. So there is a thesis here that we could have actually already be topping in the session here. So be very mindful of that. Similar situation that we are finding a little bit of love here in the Russell. So it's definitely keeps us on a watch. Kind of really looking at Russell as maybe one of the areas I really want to be focused in on. Banks were doing very well yesterday, and so definitely an area that the bull side thinking about looking to the bullish side here, a trend for IWM to close out the week. So Tesla's giving back almost $5, over $5 this morning here from yesterday's rapid move up. And we're doing a very critical back test here on Tesla. Okay. Another thing happening this morning, NVDA still higher high. Both days here we closed on the bullish side of the anchored view app. We came back down on a higher low. So this thing really looks like building a base for the bullish side, here on NVIDIA until proven otherwise. Heads up on that. We do have a massive call wall at 142. We currently aren't above that, so but we do have a massive call wall. Quite possibly could be capping us out today. Oh, sorry. I need to make me some coffee. And then on the big apples on our watch today, we are rejecting away from our resistance, so we're in negative gamma, in a negative gamma situation because on our weekly time frame. So be mindful of that. That's a little bit bearish here. So whenever I see this mixture of, one of the major companies is negative gamma, this is the only one that is actually giving us a gamma alert. So be very mindful of that, of all of our megatechs. So, bias probably upside capped, knowing that the Apple is doing what it's doing. So be very mindful of that. Bitcoin is struggling at this fair value gap area again. So heads up on that. Bottom line is into the fair value gap in our August trends. You would lean to the short side until proven otherwise. That's kind of my theory on my levels. So from my last video, things that I was looking at, I was looking to the bullish side of Microsoft. And we are up this morning on Microsoft. Heads up on that. Catching a little bit of bid here. I'm going to go back 30-minute here. We are still inside this potential resistance area. But, it's looking promising here that we're trying to move back up to the 430 here on Microsoft. So let's definitely keep this one on watch. It looks like we built a base here, a nice tight base above these September range highs. And we're trying to go on the bullish side of trend here on Microsoft. So I did call that out in the last video. So heads up on that. Other things I call out, AMD. So off of this fair value, or off this anchor GWAP zone, we got higher low now. We are above the August trend highs, so bullish side of trend. So definitely keep this on watch for a potential continuation. I was looking for the 157, 160 area, possibly to finish the week out here. So heads up on that. I definitely got that on watch. Another one I was looking at on the bullish side. I had mentioned that this double bottom down here was where traders who have been going long should have been adding, and now we're gapping up away from this anchored VWAP buy zone. So be very mindful of that. Very nice little bid here in Meta. Meta's got some life this morning. Heads up on that. This should be a continuation in today's session to the upside. Boeing's doing nothing, and none of the other sectors are really doing much of anything this morning. A little bit of pair back in microstratus. Came back, hit all-time new highs yesterday, and it's pairing back just a little bit this morning. So heads up on that. Now on the bearish side, on Megatech, Apple's the only one that's really giving us the bearish side. That's in the negative. It's a negative $2.20. So that's giving us that, and then Tesla, Apple, and Tesla are down this morning. Apple's in the negative gamma. Tesla's just paring back some of the big move we had yesterday. So that's kind of pretty much what I'm seeing in today's session so far this morning. Be careful. Like I said, there's a few names here that I think could have some legs today. So I'm keeping a really close eye on Microsoft, AMD, and Meta for potential upside bias today.